up, everybody? Maine Fly Guys here with our final bug, our final pattern. This is going to be an adult stonefly. This is a firehole hook about size 8. This is going to be a stimulator imitating an adult stonefly. So here I have some deer hair. This deer hair is particularly special because it does not flare all that much. So when you're making this fly, you really want something that does not flare a lot. And as you work with deer hair, you'll sort of find which ones are flaring, which ones don't flare. It's all to do with how hollow and thick the actual hair is. Okay, so you might also notice that I'm using white thread, which is a little interesting because adult stoneflies are typically, not always, but typically a goldenish color. They have a real gold color to them. But for this first part, I like to use white thread, and I'll show you why in a second. So here, I just have some white hackle. A lot of people use grizzly, or even a yellowish tint, if you will. But I like to use the white. This is thicker thread. It just makes the job go by a little quicker. And it also, adult stoneflies have quite a bulky body, so it really builds up a nice, thick body. Okay, so I come in with a yellow Sharpie and color the body in because, now does this make a difference? I don't really know. A lot of yellow thread doesn't have any UV signature, but this Sharpie does. And I guess I can show you. See how it is bright? It's very bright. Whereas if I shine this on my red shirt, it's not bright. Boom. So that has a UV signature. Does that help? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. But it seems to work for me. So then I'll go around and I will wrap my hackle. I like to do the wraps pretty open. I just don't want it. I don't like to do the wraps too close because I feel like it sort of lessens the yellow. You know, like I want that yellow to really pop. Okay. Alright, so from here, what I'm actually going to do is trim off the top fibers so that it's just the side ones and any sort of errant ones. So now we have a nice clean top, and what we're going to do is I'm going to come and take some purple in. I just think that the purple flash, I usually only do like about 6 strands here. I'm going to double over, so I have 3 strands here. What I'm going to do is double over them. Double them over. Boom, just right back. And then I cut them about the length of the body. So now we just have this nice little flash that kind of catches some eyes. It looks really nice when the sun catches it. So on a bright sunny day, it just adds a little more pop to it. Okay, from here, I'm going to add just a little bit of dubbing. This is yellow dubbing, just a little bit, to the rest of my shank. We're going to be laying down a deer hair wing, and that wing is very slippery. So I like to add some whatever this is called, some dubbing down, jeez, because it makes the tie-in point less slippery. So here I have a wing, and I like to use a darker color. A lot of the deer hair that you'll see is a lighter color. I think that's a no-no for imitating adult stoneflies, because when you look at their wings, they are quite dark. So I like to go, again, even with the tail. So I'll lay that down, grab that, and then just do a few tie-in points. I'm still going to hold on to it, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to trim my excess tips off. Then I'm just going to simply run my thread back and forth through the tips. Alright, I've zoomed out my camera so you can see the whole fly. So now it's looking fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change my thread. So I'm going to get rid of the bulky white stuff, and I'm going to swap it out for a finer yellow thread. Okay, so I've swapped out for my yellow thread. Now what I'm going to do is tie in another bit of hackle, but this time it's going to be smaller, just a little bit smaller than our previous body hackle, which, how's that looking? Pretty great. So I'm going to try to get this nice and even. Like, I want the slope to be even. So I want it to be a nice even slope going down. And again, you can come in with all kinds of colors. A lot of people use orange or red or green or whatever, but I like to use yellow because that's the natural color. That's the adult stonefly. It's called a golden stone for a reason. So then we'll just slowly make our way down. Again, less is more here with the wraps, so don't overdo it. If you overdo it, it won't float very well. So just take your time, and right at the end, I usually leave just a little gap. So I didn't, the very end there, you can see I didn't put any dubbing there. That just allows the tie-in to be much easier. So then again, I'm going to go through with my hackle. I like to do 4 wraps or so. And then catch it on the 5th. Great. And then what I'll do is I'll whip finish this. You can do a half hitch here. Boom. Cut it off, trim everything off. And then if there's some fibers in there, like here I have 2 little fibers that are sticking out. Not that it really matters, but... And boom, there is our adult stonefly imitator. This is best used in June, July. Those are when the adults are really cruising around. And oftentimes, if you can hit, they don't hatch like other flies. They crawl to the edge of the water, and they'll, you guys have probably seen casings, and they will actually crawl out onto a rock somewhere on shore and then hatch from there. So when you're throwing an adult imitator, it's because they're returning to the water, or they're just flying around, So there's a very small window when that occurs, and you need to time it right. And it usually happens somewhere in July, late June, depending on the year. But when you hit it, man, as soon as this fly hits the water, it's pretty much game over. It's really impressive to see. So there is our adult stonefly. I'm going to be showing you one more adult stonefly version that a lot of people tend to use, and so I'm going to show you that. I use it pretty frequently, so I'm going to show you that. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Take care.